Okay, welcome. Today I just wanted to offer a few thoughts, reflections about the upcoming new documentary that we're releasing called Coming Home. And yeah, just to talk a little bit about what's in it, what you can expect from it, and when we're releasing it. So as part of the documentary Boarding on Insanity, we followed the retreat. So if you've seen the documentary, you will see that we spent a period of time following 10 ex-boarders in a retreat setting. So we basically we followed this group, and I was one of the group, over a period of 4 days. So it was Thursday through till Sunday. And we documented it, and then Ben Cole, the director, has taken, I don't know how many hours we had, maybe 30, 40 hours of footage, and condensed it down into a 2.5, 3 hour film. So it's a 3-part film, and we basically wanted just to show, well, what does happen in one of these retreats. And really there's a couple of aspects to it. One of them is that we find out, well, what are some of the stories of boarding school? What are some of the experiences of people who've been to boarding school? And I found that personally, and I think as ex-boarders who fed back to me, who watched the documentary, to hear other people's stories, because we learned in boarding school to not speak up, to not share what we were feeling. Sometimes this is the first time we hear other people's stories. That's why it's very powerful reading some of the accounts of boarding school, and especially men's boarding school accounts, women's boarding school accounts. You can read through and go, wow, I remember that happened to me as well. And it's the same with the documentary Coming Home, is following and hearing the stories of, it's a wide range of people in their 20s through to people in their 60s and 70s. And how was boarding school for them? And there's different stories, from being predated on by older boys to struggling with mental health, bullying, being shouted at for crying. So there's lots of experiences. And when we hear it, not just from me or from one other person, if you hear it from a group, it's very, very powerful. So that's one of the aspects. The next aspect is, how's it impacted them as a group later in life. And then the final aspect is about, well, the path of healing. So we follow some of the different activities that we did, visualizations, meditations. We did some painting, drawing. We did this exercise, which was basically speaking to our parents. So a bit like IFS, internal family systems, so actually having a dialogue with our parents. And this was, very powerful. I certainly felt a lot of emotion when we did the exercise in the group, and found it very healing, just having that opportunity to speak. My father died 25 years ago, so I've never had that opportunity to talk to him about my boarding school. My mother, yes, I have. And so watching the participants, go through that, and I think the favorite part for me of the retreat is then at the end on the Saturday, Sunday, just seeing people start to shift, to change, to lift, and the joy you can see on their faces, the laughter, and just noticing. I spoke to a therapist a number of months ago, and she mentioned that because boarding school was created in a group, the trauma, therefore one of the ways out is to undo it in a group. And that's why Nick Duffell's workshops, Boarding School Survivors, why Amelia's work is amazing, because Amelia White, that is, because it's in groups. And I found that with my men's circles. I stopped doing them last year because I got too busy with the documentary. But it's that community, and that's what we found in the Coming Home retreat. And so, that is going live on Saturday. and we'll put it live about midday, unless I let people know that if you're not on the mailing list, you can go down into the description and put your name into the mailing list there. So so that's the first bit. The next bit is I've got a podcast which is going live this Friday. If you've not seen the one with Mpumelelo Mpofu, he's a Zimbabwean, went to Rhodesian, Southern Rhodesian boarding school, and he talks a bit about that. Also talks about compassion, economics, and just this idea of when we're always giving, then we eventually burn out. So it's needing to balance that out. So that's a really great conversation with Mpumelelo. And then finally, there is another thing there, which is Seen and Heard are doing a fundraiser, and they're asking for as many people to get involved. And it's called The Long Journey Home. And basically, they're looking for people to sign up to essentially agree to walk a certain distance, run a certain distance over a period of a few months over the summer. So it might be 2 miles a day or a mile a day. And then say, right, I'm going to walk 100 miles, and then get sponsorship from friends, family. And it's just a way of raising money for Seen and Heard, which is a not-for-profit. And yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea. And yeah, really, it's very simple to set up. It's very easy for people to donate. And I remember probably when I was 8 or 9, raising money in this type of way, getting sponsorship in. So it's a really wonderful idea. So yeah, just some reflections there. So I will email people Friday, Saturday with a link to the films, so you can download, or just go on to boardingoninsanity.com on Saturday, and you'll be able to stream them, those films. So yeah, thank you, and yeah, please do leave any comments, and yeah, thank you so much for your support. Okay, take care.